Guys, if you've been here for any period of time, obviously you have noticed the books behind me. Before I was a faceless channel, and it wasn't that big a deal, but I've been derided for what I wear and the books behind me and not having a Chiefs setup, etc. But if there's one thing that love of literature has instilled inside me, it is a deep connection to this sense of irony. I love irony. And what is irony? Well, apart from being a fly in your Chardonnay, irony is defined as a state of affairs or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often amusing as a result. Guys, I may have stumbled inadvertently onto a game plan or an aspect of a game plan for the Kansas City Chiefs because of a love for irony. But what we have to do, in my opinion, to get this really fleshed out is oftentimes, I like to try to bring you guys a source, some numbers, and an opinion. The source for this video, I'm going back to the year 2019. January 9th, 2019. In an article, and we'll get to why, right? Like, I promise I'm not just picking up articles from the past. In an article titled "Colts Coach Says His Team Won't Just Try to Play Keep Away from Patrick Mahomes," subtitled "Frank Reich Says the Goal is to Score, Not Keep the Chiefs Off the Field," from CBS Sports by Jared Dublin, we get the following. Pay close attention to the tone of this article, because there's something assumed here. With the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Arrowhead Stadium this week to take on number 1 seeded Kansas City Chiefs, it's become an increasingly popular idea that Indy needs to lean on its running game as it did a week ago against the Texans. The Chiefs have the NFL's most explosive offense, and it may be tough for Andrew Luck and company to keep up with them. So the idea that the Colts should run the ball against the Chiefs' last-ranked run defense in order to play keep away from Patrick Mahomes and keep the Kansas City Chiefs offense on the sideline. Colts coach Frank Reich says that will not be his plan. He's not playing keep away. He's trying to score every time his team has the ball. If it's running for 200 yards or throwing for 400, I'm always going to say the same thing. We are trying to score every time we touch the ball. And we are going to game plan to call the game in a way to score points, Reich said on Tuesday, per 107.5 The Fan. We are really not trying to think so much about, well, let's hold on to the ball and keep it away from them. We want to run it. There's no secret about that. That does keep them off the field. That would be great. But at the end of the day, the primary goal is to score points. Now, why do I want to go all the way back to 2019 in order to make that point, to bring up this article here? Well, at the time, the assumption in that article is, that. The assumption there is, I don't have to really state what this strategy is. Mahomes was so prolific with the passing game at that time that teams used to try to run the ball to keep the clock moving and keep Mahomes off of the field because it would limit his touches. Literally, just about the only thing that teams could do at that time to try to stop Patrick Mahomes from scoring 6 touchdowns was to only let him have the ball 5 times. That was a league-wide strategy. That's what teams tried to do to the Kansas City Chiefs. They tried to limit their touches because that would limit what it was that Patrick Mahomes could score. You can't score 50 points if you only touch the ball 3 times. So teams would run the ball, try to run out the clock, and limit the amount of times the Chiefs could touch the ball, hoping that along the way they would have these long, sustained drives and end up scoring points themselves. Well, guys, I unearthed a statistic, a number here from this season and years past that is maybe not startling, but it does make it look like the Chiefs are trending in a different direction than at once they had. I think we all sort of know this on some level, but seeing it on the numbers sells it. The Chiefs' average drive this season, or the Chiefs' average drive, in 2022 was 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Somehow, the Chiefs' listed 2023 drive drive time length, was also 2:53. I don't know how you do that, but they did it 2:53 consecutive seasons. The Chiefs' average drive in the 2024 season, 3:08. 15 seconds longer. It doesn't seem like a big deal. There's only 60 minutes in an entire NFL football game. So here's the thing. Actually, the weirdest thing about this statistic, Chiefs 2022 and 2023, 2:53. Chiefs 2021 and 2024, 3:08. Both of them 3:08. Now, I didn't include 2021 for obvious reasons. One, that was not a Super Bowl year. Two, the Chiefs didn't win the Super Bowl in 2021. Two, the Chiefs, that was the last iteration of the former form of the Kansas City Chiefs. After 2021, the Chiefs became what they have been for several seasons now. More of that, not the high-flying offense, a more complete team, etc., etc. The Eagles, by the way, their average drive is 3 minutes and 1 second. Now, why do I make a big point of this? Why do I say that there is perhaps some irony on the way? The Chiefs have been constructing themselves this season to have longer, more sustained drives. Kareem Hunt's not popping off a 50-yard run. I'm afraid to tell you. I'm sorry to inform you. Kareem Hunt gets, I think 3.6 yards is his average. On games where he's really going, he averages about 5. He's not popping off big runs. You look at Nuke Hopkins, not a speed guy. Yeah, the Chiefs went out and added Xavier Worthy, 4.21. The Chiefs have been using Juju Smith-Schuster an awful lot. Juju Smith-Schuster, by the way, apparently tight end number 3, but Juju Smith-Schuster's not running away from anyone. We saw that very well in the AFC Championship game. Juju Smith-Schuster is foot speed limited, we will say. What if the tables have turned? What if things are backwards from where it was they used to be? What do I mean by that? Well, teams used to run the ball in order to keep the football away from Patrick Mahomes. Limit his touches. He's so good throwing the ball, we can't afford to let him touch it all that many times. The Eagles are not a passing football team. The Eagles, and this isn't disrespectful, I think the Eagles would be the first team to tell you, they are a run-oriented team. They had a running back go over 2,000 yards. Their quarterback is most notorious for the tush push. This is a running football team, which is basically what used to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. What if it's not anymore? What if instead that is in fact a detriment to your football team? Number one, the Chiefs are very good at stopping the run. Very good at stopping the run. Been less so during the playoffs, but have been less so during the playoffs so far. They have been good against the pass. So far, it's what they've chosen to try to take away. What if Part of the actual game plan here is this. The Eagles are very good at running the ball. Sure, their average drive is 7 seconds shorter than the Kansas City Chiefs' average offensive drive. But when they score, it's going to take some time off of the clock. What if part of the Chiefs' actual game plan heading into the Super Bowl is this? Sustained drives, because that limits the amount of times, that does not limit the amount of times per se that the Eagles touch the ball. I don't think that's the strategy. But what it means is the Eagles will quickly run out of time when they need those long sustained drives in order to score. The Eagles aren't popping off 50-yard touchdown passes. It's just not the way their offense functions. So, here's the thing. You're the Kansas City Chiefs. You're good with opening drives. You're the Kansas City Chiefs. You're good against the run. Should the Chiefs find themselves able to score a touchdown on their opening possession and able to stop the Eagles during the Eagles' opening possession, whichever comes first, whichever comes second, it doesn't particularly matter. Should the Chiefs then find themselves with the ability to add a field goal, right? Either one of those comes first, either one of those comes second, don't care. Should the Chiefs find themselves up by 2 possessions? Well, now, every time the Chiefs touch the ball, they're knocking off 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. They're knocking off a little more than 20% of a quarter. So, too, are the Eagles. The Eagles average 3.01 per drive. So, what does that mean? If the Chiefs find themselves up by multiple possessions, which can be as few as 8 points, as few as 9 points. Technically, 8 is still a single possession. Should the Chiefs find themselves up by 9 points and able to drain 3:08 off the clock every time they touch it, they don't even have to score. They're getting the game that much closer. They're getting the game 5% closer to end every time they touch the ball. So, getting the game 5% closer to end every time you touch the ball, and the Eagles get the game 5% closer to end every time they touch the ball, you're looking at 10 possessions probably between the two of them, probably closer to 9 just by the math. So 9 possessions. You are up 2 possessions. It becomes a very difficult lead to eat into, regardless of when this happens in the game. This could be, like I used in the previous statement here, the Chiefs could do this from the opening couple of drives. 3 minutes, Chiefs opening drive, touchdown. 3 minutes, Eagles opening drive, punt. 3 minutes, Chiefs second drive, field goal. 3 minutes, Eagles, second drive, punt. 3, 6, 9, 12. That would be 2 possessions with a lead right there. And you're already down all but a quarter. And you're giving the Eagles the ball back after that, their average drive being 3:01. It would take them to the end of the first quarter to score. Now, this is just math, obviously. This is not actual circumstance from the game. But this is where game plans start to get built. Looking at the raw numbers, looking at the averages, looking at what a team usually does. The Chiefs usually take over 3 minutes per drive. Once you're down and you are taking 3 minutes and 1 second like the Eagles do to score, you're down 2 possessions, 3, 6, 9. That is, you score a touchdown, you punt back and hope that they punt, you score a field goal. That's 3-6-9 minutes off the clock right there. That is essentially an entire quarter for 2 drives on the offense. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.